Good morning, guys. So yesterday's lesson we focused on metric conversions. Are you getting my whole head in, by the way?
Yep.
Okay. Yesterday's lesson we focused on metric conversions, bless you, of length, and we talked about meters. We went through how to convert millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, meters, decameters, hectometers, and kilometers. So today we're going to be focusing on capacity and mass. So capacity is the amount of liquid that an object can hold. I have a little demonstration for you here. I have my measuring cup, and on one side I have the customary units, which we're not going to do yet. That's for next week. On the other side I have my metric units of capacity. So my measuring cup right now has 225 milliliters of water inside of it. So right now the capacity, what it's holding is 225 milliliters. If I fill it up a little more, I probably could get to about 275, but put that to the side just so you understand the amount of liquid that an object can hold. All right, so back to our conversions. So we want to first look at, this is very similar to what we did yesterday. What's the matter? You can say hi. Go ahead, Ariana.
Hi.
All right, so she's my camera lady again today, again for this lesson. She also did the homework corrections for me this morning. So for capacity, we are going to be converting, our first example is 8 liters equals blank milliliters. So I do this the exact same way that I did with meters and millimeters. The conversions are exactly the same as well because the prefixes are the same, and we discussed that in class last week before school closed. So I know that in 1 liter, there are 1,000 milliliters. I'm going from a bigger unit, liters, to milliliters, which is a smaller unit, so I multiply. Still doing big units to smaller units. We're not doing small to big just yet. So I do 8 times 1,000 and get 8,000 as my answer. Now I can also use the chart. King Henry, here we go. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Now, this time, the unit, the middle one, is going to be for liters, not meters, because we're dealing with capacity. So this is 8 liters, and I want to convert that to milliliters, deci, centa, milli, and the chart does the exact same thing. These questions are done the exact same way as the meters that we did yesterday, when we did metric units of length. Now we do capacity, and they go the exact same method. Still doing bigger unit to smaller unit, which means you are multiplying, right? If we were in class, I'd say, everyone, what operation? And you'd all say, multiply. Kids, can you help me out? Everyone, what operation do we do? My kids, hello. Multiply. All right, never mind. They're not into participating right now. So let's do a second example here. 2.5 kiloliters equals blank liters. So I know that in 1 kiloliter, there are 1,000 liters, just like there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Same thing. So now I'm going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So once again, I multiply. So I do 2.5 times 1,000. 3 zeros, remember the decimal point rule of scooping to the right when I multiply by a multiple of 10. This was something that we learned back in October. When you multiply a decimal by a multiple of 10, you scoop to the right the number of zeros. So I have 3 zeros here, so I'm going to scoop 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. I need 2 placeholders here. So my answer is 2,500. Again, I can do the chart. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. For those of you, if your parents are watching and they forgot about good old King Henry, I'll just do a quick refresher. So the first letter of each of those words in it's a mnemonic device. So by saying King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, the first letter of each of those words in that silly sentence match up with the prefixes of the metric conversion chart. King, K, kilo, H for hecto or King Henry, deca for doesn't, usually is where our unit or our base unit goes. D for drink, which is also D for deci. Chocolate starts with a C, and that's for centi, and M is for milk and milla. So we also talked about how millennium is 1,000 years. M for milla, the prefix means 1,000. Centa, century, 100. Deca, decade, 10, and so on and so forth. So if I were to plug this example into my chart, the 2 is the last digit of my whole number. I put my decimal point and fill in. I'm converting to liters. So this is kilo, hecto, deca, and then my base unit, plug in my last 2 zeros, and I get the same answer. So today we looked at capacity here. I'd like to do one more example. I'm going to just do it up here on the top. And if you'll notice, I'm going to talk about mass. I'm going to do one mass example for you. Mass is the amount of matter that makes up an object, and we deal with grams when we're talking about mass. So example number 3 today will be a mass example. Again, big to small, you multiply, all the same rules apply. So if I wanted to know 5 grams equals how many, let's do centigrams on this one. So centi is 100, so 1 gram equals 100 centigrams. 5 times 100 would be 500, because big to small, you multiply. So big, just a reminder, I've been saying it for days now. Big to small, you multiply. We'll even add that in there. And again, this can also be done using the chart. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. If I have, this is now going to be grams in the base unit column. And if I have 5 grams, I'm moving 1, 2 to get to centigrams, and I get 500 centigrams. So there is going to be a homework assignment. It's very short. Tomorrow we will meet again in live conference. So I hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to watch the video as many times as you need to, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.